Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This video is nothing but it is the computer networks module 1 dealing with lecture series question bank set 3. So moving on to the lecture series, please do like, share, subscribe and comment. First question, distinguish between the circuit switched network and the packet switched network. So there are some parameters that we have to discuss when you are differentiating the circuit and packet switch is nothing but circuit and packet switch with path, with store and forward transmission, whether it is having dedicated link, the bandwidth availability for both the circuit switch and packet switch network, and the routes that is followed by the packets to reach the destination, and the setup, how the circuit is set up or the packet switching is set up, network is set up, how the congestion is taking place in the transmission of circuit and packet switch network, and the wastage of bandwidth. So these are the some of the important parameters that has to be discussed to differentiate the circuit and packet switch network. So moving on to the second question, categorize the four basic topologies in terms of line configuration. Yes, so there are four basic topology: mesh, star, bus and ring. So we must know that ring topology is nothing but it is in a form of ring. So the complete network is connected in the ring, and you can explain, this is a diagram for the ring topology, and you can explain that the source can connect to the destination in either of the way. If suppose this line gets disconnected or there is any fault, all the data can be transferred to the other ring network. So this is how ring network works. Bus topology is nothing but you will have a transmission line, that is a cable connected across through a longer length with a tap across it. So with a tap, a drop line is connected to each of the PCs in the bus topology. So if suppose what happens is, if this line gets connected, so the tap is closed so that there is no fault data that has been transmitted. And star topology is nothing but you have a central hub with n number of nodes connected to the hub, that is called as star topology. So it is nothing but whatever data that has to be transmitted or received can be taken only through the hub. If suppose any fault occurs, that particular line alone is disconnected and all the other remains the same. But if suppose the fault is in the hub, then complete network gets spoiled. Yes. So moving on to the next topology, mesh. So here there are number of nodes. So here there are 5 nodes. So 10 links will be provided. Each of the nodes are connected to each other. It is not that one node is connected to the other node and it is not connected to the other any other node. See, when you take an example, this node is connected to this node, this node, this node and this node. So each of the node will be interlinked with each other. That is why when you have 5 nodes, then there are 10 links. Yes. So these are the 4 topologies. The respective diagram has to be drawn with the required content. Third question, categorize in detail about the OSI model. So in the last video, we have seen about TCP IP layer, right? With 5 layers. Here you have 7 layers because it is OSI model: physical, data link layer, network, transport, session, presentation and application layer. These are the 7 layers where physical layer is the lowermost layer and the application is the uppermost layer. So you have to draw this diagram and explain what each layer is responsible for. What is physical layer, what is data link layer, what happens in network layer. So each has to be described in detail. Fourth question, explain 3 types of addresses with example: unicast, multicast and broadcast addressing. So these are the 3 types of addresses available. So unicast address you can represent with a small diagram and write or explain about what is unicast. Multicast is nothing but you have to draw a diagram. That is, unicast is one-to-one connection. Multicast is you have one source, n number of connections, that is n number of destination. And here broadcast is nothing but both the source and destination will have n number of source and destination, that is n number of nodes connected across source and destination. So this is a small definition for the unicast, multicast and broadcast address. With the example, draw a diagram and explain. Fifth question, evaluate the link layer addressing with an example. So here the link layer addressing with an example is nothing but here you can tell that you can draw this diagram and you can explain that this is the source which wants to travel through different links to the destination. So here it is nothing but each of the data that has been transferred through the link will have the frame of data because it is link layer address. So a layer data link layer addressing. So it has a frame data and N1, N2. N1, N2 is nothing but the IP address that is represented. Along with the IP address, you have a label L1, L2 that is nothing but the link layer addressing or the local layer addressing. So with this address, it gets transmitted through different links or routers and reach the destination. So here the L value and the N value keeps on changing to denote the number of link it is transmitting and number of IP address it is going and setting. Yes. So with this diagram, you have to explain the how link layer addressing happens. Moving on to the next question, explain address resolution protocol with its operation. This is one of the most important question asked in VTU. It is a repeated question that is asked, which is nothing but we call it as ARP, address resolution protocol. So first, this is the diagram that you will represent telling that in the network layer, you have IP protocol, that is internet protocol, and with ICMP and IGMP, control and group message protocol. Why, what is ICMP, what is IGMP, you have to write it, and then you will be explaining about ARP. So the format of ARP is nothing but hardware type, protocol type. So here what kind of hardware it is used, whether it is LAN or WAN. Protocol is what kind of protocol, whether it is a network layer protocol or data link layer protocol, that is ARP, what it is. And hardware length is nothing but the cable length that is used for connecting different LANs and WANs. And protocol length, the protocol follows a set of length, that length. And operation, you have two operation in ARP, that is ARP request and ARP reply. So one means request, two means reply. So here you can represent this diagram for explaining ARP request and ARP reply. So with the system A and system B, how the request is being transmitted with IP address and the local address, that is link layer address, how a request is sent to each of the nodes, that is each of the nodes connected across the network. Here you can see how the reply takes place, that is from system B it is directly sent to system A, no, not through different nodes. So these are the two types of operations, and you will be determining the source hardware address, protocol address, destination hardware address, and destination protocol address. So these format will be completely explained after drawing this diagram. Yes, hope you have understood the concept. Please be stay tuned for still more tips to be understood. Thank you so much.